Salam Sarawak Maju Makmur. Yang berhormat Datuk Dr. Abdul Rahman Junaidi, Timbalan Menteri Utiliti dan Komunikasi. Yang berbahagia Datuk Haji Misnul Ditaha, yang di-Ketua Majlis Islam Sarawak. Saya bersama Datuk Haji Kipli Haji Yassin, Mufti Sarawak. Yang bahagia Tuan Haji Khalidi Haji Ibrahim, Pengarah Jabatan Agama Islam Sarawak, Dihdi Penamaan Distinguished Speaker Profesor Dr. Rajab Sentok. Ladies and gentlemen, tuan-tuan muslimin muslimat yang dikasihi dan dirahmati Allah sekalian. Alhamdulillah, praise to Allah Subhanahu wa taala, we are here today for the second presentation of this Ijtima' Ilmuwan Islam. So we are so fortunate to have with us Professor Dr. Rajab Sentok. Inshallah, I'll do the introduction of the biodata of Professor Dr. Rajab Sentok. Tuan-tuan, hadirin sekalian, Profesor Dr. Rajab Sentok adalah merupakan dekan di Kolej Pengajian Islam di Universiti Hamad bin Khalifah. Beliau memperoleh PhD daripada Jabatan Universiti Columbia dan BA dalam Pengajian Islam daripada Universiti Istanbul. Beliau ialah Presiden Pengasas Universiti Ibn Khaldun di Istanbul. Dan beliau juga merupakan pengasas Alliance Civilization Institute di Universiti Fatih Sultan Muhammad Baqir. Dan pengkhususan beliau adalah dalam bidang pengajian tamadun, sosiologi dan pengajian Islam dengan tumpuan kepada teori dan kaedah sosial, hadis, rangkaian sosial hak asasi manusia dan pemodenan di dunia Islam. Dan karya-karya beliau diterbitkan dalam bahasa Turki, bahasa Jepun dan Sepanyol. Dan beliau merupakan fellow penyelidik di Pusat Pengajian Undang-Undang Universiti Mori dan fellow British Academy di Oxford Brookes University. Dan beliau merupakan Presiden Pengasas Akademi Usul dan Persatuan Antarabangsa Ibn Khaldun. Dan that is a short biodata of Professor Dr. Rajab, insyaAllah. So without further ado, so I would like to pass over the stage and also the microphone to Professor Dr. Rajab Sentok for his presentation, insyaAllah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Excellencies, distinguished guests, respectable Minister, Mufti, Head of Islamic Society of Sarawak, respectable audience, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzubillahi minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulina wa habibina وطبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وإخوانه من الأنبياء والمرسلين أجمعين. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وأمرنا رشدا. I'm very honored to be invited and given the opportunity to share my views with you and learn from you, inshallah ta'ala. I will be talking about leadership, governance, and well-being of a nation from Ibn Khaldun perspective. As you know, Ibn Khaldun is one of the great scholars of Islam. He wrote on state, civilization, well-being of society, development. So I'll be talking about these issues from Ibn Khaldun perspective. I will talk about why we need state and what's the state and what are the qualifications required for a good leadership and how can a nation be happy and governance from Ibn Khaldun's perspective, inshallah ta'ala. My argument I will present it in the beginning to you. Islamic civilization is characterized by a unique circular structure of governance. Circular structure of governance. This is unique to Islamic civilization. This is a non-hierarchical egalitarian model, and it promotes social justice, and it administrative system to the prevalent hierarchical systems of our time. So at the moment we have pyramid-like administrative system, but the Islamic system derived from the Sunnah of Rasulullah, it's circular. And the pyramid-like hierarchical system often leads to social inequality, social injustice. So this is the summary of my argument, inshallah ta'ala, and I will try to convince you in my talk to this, that the pyramid-like administrative system is not good. Circular system of administration, this is what distinguishes our state systems compared to other systems. Okay? So, why do we need a state? Ibn Khaldun says, Al-Mulk Daruri, Shar'an wa Aqlan. So, state is necessary from a rational perspective and also from a religious perspective. So, you need political organization, you need state. Whether you approach the issue from a rational, completely secular perspective or from a religious perspective. So, this is the reason why after Rasulullah traveled to eternity, the first thing Ashab did, appoint a Khalifa, Khalifa Rasulullah. We are all Khalifa of Allah, but the leader is Khalifa of Rasulullah. Which one is superior? Of course, Khalifa of Allah is superior, but Khalifa of Rasulullah is above the Khalifa of Allah. It means to bring them together and govern them. Let's move on. So the ugly justification in the says it is necessary for all human beings to live collectively. Al-insanu madaniyun bil-tab'a. So every human being by nature must live collectively, but they cannot live, they cannot survive individually. But if they live together, how they are going themselves. This requires an authority about themselves. And this authority is needed for security, for regulating economy. But there is another thing, if I could mention, al-uns, which is friendship, sohbet, brotherhood among themselves. Usually in the West, when they try to justify the existence of government, they refer either to security, like Hobbes, or to economic reasons, but none of them mention that al-uns, this friendship is also provided, good relationship is provided by the state. So therefore, from a rational perspective, the establishment of a governing authority is crucial for preserving human life. You see that in our religion, in our civilization, religious thinking conflict between the two. Because Allah Ta'ala gave us religion to help our mind to work properly. Okay? Let's move on. Okay, so if I ask you to draw image of state, what kind of image comes to your mind? This is a test I do in my class, political sociology class. I ask students, draw the image of state that comes to your mind. Like each one draws something. But most of the time, they draw something like pyramids. And you see, in the West, I present here two images. One is Leviathan, this monster. In the one hand, sword, the other hand, torch, very scary. Then the other one, pyramid-like state. So you have king at the top and people in the bottom, citizens in the bottom. So, and this pyramid-like image of state is common today everywhere. You know, but how did Ibn Khaldun draw image of state? You see this circle. You know, this is taken from Ibn Khaldun's Muqaddimah, from the manuscript. It's Dahira to Siyasa. So he drew image of state like a circle. And inshallah we'll read this in detail. So what's the difference between a circle and a pyramid? The most important difference is that in the pyramid, the ruler is at the top and the citizens in the bottom, and there's a gap, big gap between the two. But in the circle, you know, circle means they are all equal. Like when you sit in a round table, that means people are equal in the round table. But if you have a rectangular table, the one who sits at the top is superior over the others. So why did Ibn Khaldun develop such an image of state? And what it means? We will be talking about this. But this illustration shows very clearly and concretely that state is something different in our tradition than it's in the Western and non-Western civilizations, in non-Islamic civilizations. That's why I'm saying Islamic civilization is distinguished by this concept of authority, leadership, and administration. And we will try to understand this better, inshallah ta'ala. Next. Okay. So this Ibn Khaldun called this Dahira to Siyasa. Dahira to Siyasa. It means circle of administration, circle of state. So he says, Al-Alamu Bustanun Siyaju Al-Dawla. Society is like a garden. But the Dawla, the state, is like the fence around society. So what does the fence do? The fence protects, right? So that's the Dawla. So some people say the concept of dawla did not exist with the Muslims, some Orientalists. The concept of dawla is already there. So what's dawla? Dawla to sultan. Dawla is power, authority. But what does dawla do? What's the mission of dawla? What's the role of dawla? Tahya bihi as-sunnah. So the role of dawla is to protect the sunnah of Muhammad ﷺ, because he was the political leader, he was the ruler, he was head of the state. So his sunnah is not only using miswak and having beard. You know, he has political sunnah, like how you govern people, how you deal with the people you are working with. You know, so because he had leader, he was a leader. So the role of the dawla is to maintain the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So this brings to mind what are the political sunnah of Muhammad ﷺ. What kind of dawla he established? What kind of leadership he exercised? How was his relationship with the people he was ruling? In Medina. Of course, this has a lot of detail. We cannot go at it, but he was not only the leader of Muslims, but he was the leader of all the people who lived in Medina, including non-Muslims. So he established an open civilization, open to Christians, Jews, even politics, idol worship, Muslims in Medina. But this is another topic, we can discuss later. So then the question is, what's a sunnah? So we have here scholars, Sharia scholars. I can ask them what's the sunnah, but Ibn Khaldun gives you a different definition of the sunnah. He says, as-sunnatu siyasatun. Have you ever heard a definition of sunnah like that, or this new to you? As-sunnatu siyasatun. I'm not making this up. A great scholar, Ibn Khaldun, he's saying this. Sunnah is siyasa. Sunnah is governance. Sunnah is administration. Sunnah is leadership. Okay? So it's a new definition to Sharia scholars. But Sharia scholars should also read Ibn Khaldun to complement the definition of Sunnah in the Hadith books. This is the definition and understanding of Sunnah from a sociological, political perspective. Because Sunnah presents us a particular way of siyasa. And I will be talking about what kind of siyasa the Sunnah offers to us and how it's different from the Sunnah of law or Confucius or Tao offers to us. And this is the circular siyasa. So, as Sunnah siyasatun, so who practices the Sunnah? Yasusuha al-mulk or al-malik. The state practices the Sunnah. The leader, you can read it al-mulk or al-malik. So the leader, the ruler practices the Sunnah, preserves it and makes it survive. So, al-mulku nizam يعده الجند. State is order. It is supported by army. So what's army? الجند أعوان. Army يكفلهم. Economy supports the army. And what's economy? المال رزق. Economy is a gift from Allah. It's risk. But Western economics don't have this concept of risk. This is unique again to economy. Economy is a risk from Allah Ta'ala. So He gives your risk from petroleum. Other people get their risk from sea. Other people get their risk from farming, etc. تجمعه الرعية. الرعية means protect. To protect it's not like subjects, because we use subjects, we borrow from English, but Ra'iyya is very different than the concept of subjects. Ra'iyya means like people you protect, people you take care. So Ra'iyya means people who are taken and served by the state. That's the meaning of Ar-Ra'iyya. And so the leader is Ar-Ra'i. Ar-Ra'i, shepherd, protector, steward. Because Rasulullah said, Kullukum Ra'i. All of you are like shepherds. So the state is Ar-Ra'i and the people are Ar-Ra'iyya. The protected, the taking care of, the served people. You see, very different understanding of politics and very different understanding of relationship between state and society. So this is what brings about well-being of society. So the Tajma' al-Ra'iyya, operates the economy. They produce income for the state. So the state can finance the army. So who's Ar-Ra'iyya? Citizens, Ar-Ra'iyya to Abidun. They are servants of the state. They serve the state. They are loyal servants of the state. But what makes them loyal to the state? يَكْفُلُهُمْ الْعَدْلِ. Justice makes them loyal to the state. Justice bonds them to the state. If they are treated with justice, then they become loyal to the state. They serve voluntarily with love to the state. So justice is very important for tying the hearts of Ar-Ra'iyya. the state. So what's al-adl? What's justice? Al-adl ma'loof. Everyone likes justice. There's nobody who hates justice. Everyone likes justice. مألوف. وبه قوام العالم. And society survives with justice. The survival of the society, the survival of the state, the survival of civilization depends on justice. And as you know, justice is one of the 99 names of Allah Ta'ala. He is just in his treatment of his creation. And Ibn Khaldun and all other ulama, they say, الملك يدوم بالكفر ولا يدوم بالظلم. So if there is no justice, society and state collapses. So this is circle of justice Ibn Khaldun presented to us. And you see that it is derived from the Sunnah of Rasulullah have been organized in the history. Okay. So these are examples from the Ottoman thinker Khalazadeh. So the Ottomans maintained the circle of politics. They borrowed from earlier scholars, in particular Ibn Khaldun. They called it circle of justice. Because politics is process, outcome is justice. So either you call it siyasa, but siyasa is not the same as politics. Siyasa is better. Siyasa is ibadah. Siyasa is fard kifaya. Some group of people from Muslims must be involved in siyasa because it's fard kifaya. It's an ibadah. One moment of just ruling is equal to 1,000 years of worship to Allah Ta'ala. It is such an important politics is something different. But we are not going to talk about this. So Khalazadeh, he translated Da'irat al-Siyasah to Turkish, called it Da'irat al-Adala, circle of justice. So you see here, in the outside is Arabic and inside Turkish. And then they also came up with different designs. So these designs should be in our parliaments, in our state offices, to give guidance, to our leaders, our politicians, and also let them know how different we are in our understanding of governance, leadership, and how we serve the citizens. Okay. So you see that in this circle there are 8 elements. 8 elements. There is alam, there is dawla, there is sunnah, there is malik or mulk, there is jaysh, mal, ra'iyya, and adl. 8 elements involved in this circle. So these elements, 8 elements are very important. Why 8? Why 8? Because يومئذ يحمل عرش ربك ثمان. On the day of judgment, 8 angels carry the throne, the throne. So this to show that there is symmetry between number 8. Paradise and 8 doors. So we can discuss one alam, one dawla, one but this requires a long lecture. I'm not going to go into details of it. Okay?
Okay.
Ibn Khaldun also talks about the good qualities required in the leader. And he quoted Khilal al-Khayr. Khilal al-Khayr. Good characters that the leader must have. So, in the of the state that prevails in our contemporary world, it is sometimes overlooked that governance is an inherent trait of human nature stemming from our rational faculties. As the rational beings, humans have exhibited a natural inclination towards governance as a means to establish order, resolve conflicts, and promote justice. This innate drive arises from our ability to reason, analyze, and envision the consequences of our actions. So, by upholding justice, political authority ensures that individuals are protected from each other's potential for harm and that their interactions are regulated in a fair and equitable manner. Thus, government in making human existence on earth possible and promoting well-being of a society. And but this cannot happen without khilalul khayr, benevolent character of the leader. So Arabic is messed up. I cannot read here. Okay, let's move on. Okay. So politics is a good per se, regardless of the regime type. So Ibn Khaldun argues that you need a political authority. It's better than anarchy. So politics in essence serves as a fundamental precondition for human organization to control individuals' inclinations, to maximize their interests by harming other people's interests. So actually, there is an ijma, consensus among all ulama that any rule is better than anarchy. Okay, let's move to the next one. Ibn Khaldun says that politics is to safeguard and ensure the well-being of all beings on earth, human and non-human. It's very important. Environment also included. You need siyasa for this. Or in other words, a divine translation of creation. Kafala lil khalq. Kafala lil khalq. So the ruler is the kafil, responsible for the whole creation. Not only human beings but also the environment. And this is the khilafah. The meaning of khilafah. لله في العباد لتنفيذ أحكامه فيه. So the leader executes, puts in practice the normative system given by Allah Ta'ala. So leader is the successor of Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. As I mentioned, the leader is Khalifat Rasulillah. But every human being is Khalifatullah. So the leader holds the responsibility to maintain justice, preserve religion, and many worldly faiths. So the Islamic State has a different role, not just welfare, economic welfare of citizens, moral responsibility, religion. So this has to be. It's also a duty of the state. Let's move on. Next. Yeah. Very good. Now I am independent. Okay. Very good. So the purpose of governance is maqasid sharia, because we know that there is maqasid sharia, but who's responsible to produce this maqasid? Whose responsibility to produce maqasid? Who makes sure that sharia is implemented in such a way that it produces those maqasid? The state. Of course, in collaboration with society. So the asabiyya and khilal al-khayr, when they are there, Maqasid Sharia are produced. Otherwise, Maqasid Sharia remains some abstract concept. So that's why it's very important for the state to adopt Maqasid Sharia as its strategic goal, not the UN sustainability goals, but the Maqasid Sharia. Because those sustainable goals want to focus on economic welfare, material welfare. But Maqasid Sharia is more comprehensive. It includes both material, economic welfare, protection of the environment, but also moral sustainability, sustainable religion as well. Because most of the environmental problems we have today is because of the problems in our morality, which shapes our relationship with nature. That's why the role of the state is more than political role. It's an ethical role that requires to produce justice, compassion, and welfare of society, or maqasid of Sharia. And this can happen only if there's khilal al-khayr. So the Sunnah in the circle of politics, we have seen these 8 elements. You see that this is a different role, and epistemic sustainability and moral sustainability. You know, the economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, political sustainability depends on moral sustainability, akhlaq, of Islamic akhlaq. So if there is no Islamic akhlaq, people are corrupt, then politics fail, economy fails, education fails, everything fails. So sustainability, development depends on solid moral grounds. And it is the responsibility of the state to make sure Islamic morality is. And this moral sustainability is not part of UN sustainability. That's why I'm saying we have to adopt our own sustainable goals. Moral sustainability is the foundation of all other sustainable goals. But Islamic morality cannot be sustained without epistemic sustainability. But what I mean by epistemic sustainability is maintaining, preserving Islamic knowledge system. And Islamic knowledge system is distinguished from secular knowledge system because it has wahy, divine revelation as part of it. From Islamic epistemic perspective, reason is source of knowledge, experimentation, self-perception is source of knowledge, but there is something else, divine revelation, al-wahy, al-khabar al-sadiq, is also a source of knowledge. So we are empirical, but not empiricists. We are rational, but not rationalists. Because empiricist means you argue everything can be known through empirical knowledge. No, we respect empirical knowledge, but we are not reductionist empiricists. We are rational, but not rationalists. We use our reason, but we never argue. We can know everything by reason. Our knowledge system is more comprehensive. This is what I call multiplex epistemology, multi-layered epistemology, which operates reason, sense perception, plus divine revelation. That's why our epistemic system is much superior, much comprehensive, much sophisticated than the empiricist or purely secular rationalist systems. It incorporates what they have and goes beyond them. So the state must maintain this epistemic system so that the morality built upon this epistemic system can be sustained, and moral sustainability will make sure people in economy works well, people in politics works well, they act in an ethical manner. Otherwise, if morality collapses and the epistemic system which sustains morality collapses, then the whole society, whole civilization, whole economic and political system will collapse. So today, the root cause of our problems is not economic. We are rich people, alhamdulillah. You know, Muslims has the best natural resources in the world. And we are located in the most fertile geography in the world. But our problem is moral problem. So we have to issue. But as I said, maintaining our morality depends on maintaining sources of knowledge, epistemic sustainability. So, as you have noticed that in circle of politics, Al-Malik Ra'i, the ruler is a shepherd. A shepherd. So, the ruler is a steward to take care, to help, to serve the citizenry. And this is one of the best acts of worship, ibadah, for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. And serving in politics, in siyasa, following the rules of the Sunnah, is a better act of worship than going to Umrah, or fasting, or making nafil salat, according to Sunnah, Sahih Sunnah of Rasulullah ﷺ. Because there are so many challenges involved, so many temptations involved, because you have power, you are so tempted by shaitan or by your nafs. That's why if you act morally according to Sunnah in politics as a ra'i, as a protector, as a shepherd, as a steward, then this is one of the most pleasing act of worship to Allah Ta'ala. So ri'ayah, amana and khilafah, three key concepts in Islamic political thought. Ri'ayah, I don't know if this is used in Malay language or not, because Malay has a lot of fundamental concepts from Arabic. Not translate those concepts, just keep them, because they are so important. So ri'ayah, amana and khilafah, three important concepts. Islamic political thought is built upon this. So the leader has a trust to protect. Every position is a trust from Allah, and the people is given to him as a trust. And he's ra'i, he must have ri'ayah, take care of people and serve them. And this is khilafah. He is representing Rasulullah alayhi wasallam. It's a big responsibility. So, khuluq al-siyasa, Ibn Khaldun makes a list of good characters that should be existing with the leader. Al-karam, generosity. MashaAllah, I have observed this generosity in Malaysia. Alhamdulillah, Malays are, kareem, they have karam. And I was so surprised when I saw in business class, they have grab and go. They have food for people when they go, they give them food too. I've never seen this in any business, other business class. So this shows karam. Maybe like other companies would say, oh, they save money. Why give food to them when they leave? But this is karam, alhamdulillah. And also forgiveness of mistakes, tolerance towards the less capable, al-ihtimal min ghayr al-qadir, disabled people, weak people, the underclass. Hospitality to guests, al-karam lil-duyuf, supporting those who have nothing, kasb al-mu'dim, patience in adversity, as-sabr ala al-makari, fulfilling promises, al-wafa bil-ahd. So this doesn't exist in the modern world. Modern politicians, they never fulfill any promise. It's very hard. Unless you have power to pressure them, but this is part of the Islamic siyasa. And respected scholars who carried the Sharia, إجلال العلماء الحاملين لها, standing by what scholars determine as action or abandonment. يحددون لهم من الفعل أو الترك. This is the rule of law. And modesty before elders and sheikhs. الحياة من الأكابر والمشايخ. Assigning people to their rightful positions and treating people with fairness. This is a fundamental principle of justice. This is in المقدمة. So these are خلق السياسة خلال الخير. And this is in Arabic for those who are interested. Ibn Khaldun also talks about generosity and justice, karam and adl in politics. These are very important. This is khilal al-kamal. This is dubaw khilal al-khayr. So good morality, ethics has levels. It's multiplex. There are multiple layers. Khilal al-kamal is at the top. This is generosity and justice. This is the apex of political ethics. Generosity and justice. It's very, very important in the leader. Because Rasulullah represented the highest level of generosity. He represented the highest level of justice. So if you are Khalifa of him, and if you are practicing siyasa, with the intention of practicing the sunnah of Rasulullah, you have to be representing those values as well. But today, politics is just opposite. The character and the morality of political leaders are so corrupt. You can see it in the media, and they justify it by coming up with some theories. A good example is Machiavelli. But today, the rulers, especially in the modern world, they are worse than Machiavelli. They are so corrupt. I'm not going to go into details of this. So Ibn Khaldun argues that there are stages in the life of the state, in the life of society, in the life of civilization. So it's not fixed, it's not stable, it's always changeable. So he argues that in the beginning, the state is very strong, justice is perfect, and people are bound to each other. There is a high level of solidarity. But as they move on, they get richer, they have more money, they are more prosperous. So justice slowly weakens. Connections, solidarity weakens. Morality gets eroded. But at the end, what happens? No more justice, individualism prevails, there's no solidarity, no respect to elders, no respect to religion, then the state collapses. So this is Atwar Khamsa, 5 stages in the life of society and the state there. So the question is it predetermined? Is it unescapable that all states go through 5 stages and collapse at the end in 5 generations? Or is it possible to maintain a state in the first phase and stop march of history in the first phase? Okay? So the answer is that if morality is maintained, fada'il al-siyasa is maintained, the mulk will be continuous. So you see like how ethical behavior over time, and this is the impact of economic development and prosperity. So if economy develops, people get rich, but at the same time, if morality is not preserved, this economic prosperity will have a negative impact on society. So it is the responsibility of the state leaders to ensure economic development, but at the same time, if morality and economic development are maintained together, the state survives. But if you focus only on economic sustainability, only on economic development, and neglect the morality side, this increase in wealth will undermine moral fabric of society. They'll become individualistic, no more solidarity, no more respect to each other. So at the end, the state collapses. So this matrix phase, second phase, third phase, fourth phase, and fifth phase, which is decline to society, state, Sharia, Sunnah, Malik, army, economy, Ra'iyya, and justice. But the most important thing is that in the beginning, very cohesive society, but at the end, no unity in society, fighting with each other. In the beginning, the state is very strong, but at the end, very disorganized. In the beginning, people respect religion, respect Sharia, respect Sunnah, but at the end, they don't care about the Sunnah or Sharia. And the same way, justice, in the beginning, very high level of justice, but at the end, no more justice, which is end of the state. So the question is decline, decay, inescapable? Barbara Stowesser, a German scholar, states that the social organization to go through these stages, permanency is possible if God's law is followed by people. So she wrote, underneath his pragmatism, Ibn Khaldun let us perceive his deeper conviction, the conviction that adheres to the true religion can and should ensure the creation of God's kingdom on earth and everlasting golden age. If and when this is achieved, he tells us civilizations need not and will not rise and fall again. So the secret is, practicing the Sunnah of Rasulullah ﷺ. So civilization sustainability, as I have mentioned, can be ensured, according to Ibn Khaldun, by moral sustainability and epistemic sustainability. And this is the reason why I work on the Futuwa morality, because now Turkey is economically developing, Malaysia is economically developing, and our leaders, they focus on economic development, but they are not aware that this economic development will at the end undermine the moral fabric in society. So I'm trying to warn them, okay, work on economy, but work on morality as well. Otherwise, according to Ibn Khaldun's theory, this economic development will undermine the whole society. So that's why I work on the concept of Futuwa ethics. And Futuwa ethics is based on altruism, caring for others, serving others, not fighting with others, being agreeable with others. This is a khidmah, to others. But the current prevalent postmodern ethics is based on individualism, maximizing your self-interest, regardless of others. But Islamic ethics is based on caring for everyone in the society. Ithar is the foundation of Futuwa ethics. So we should promote Ithar while we promote economic development. Otherwise, everyone will become individualistic and they will not care about other people, and at the end there will be no cohesion. Is needed for social cohesion. And reviving Futuwa is reviving the Sunnah, reviving Makarim al-Akhlaq, reviving Muruwa of Rasulullah ﷺ. So this is what we need today. So we are now searching for good governance, and Alhamdulillah, Islamic political theory and practice has very good examples about good governance, and Ibn Khaldun systematized like how a good governance may maybe structured, maybe systematized, and as I have mentioned, like Ottomans, they adopted this. This is why for 7 centuries, instead of collapsing in 5 generations. So they practice futuwa, they practice zuhd, they practice tasawwuf to control, the individualistic desires, luxury, overconsumption, trivialities. So this is how they survive for many centuries. So today we need to do rooted revival. Revive our political thought, our political practices, our morality, but rooted in our tradition. This is what I call التجديد المؤصل. التجديد المؤصل, rooted revival in the field of politics, in the field of morality. التجديد الغير مؤصل, rootless revival, did not produce anything. And also conservatism did not produce anything. So we need to combine, our need for tajdeed and our need with taqseem together, and this is the strategy to move forward. And I believe that applied Khaldunism makes this possible. I am the founder and president of International Ibn Khaldun Society. Our goal is to apply Khaldunism. How can we apply Ibn Khaldun's theories, methods and concepts to contemporary problems, to demonstrate that Ibn Khaldun offers better solutions to our problems. And this is what I try to do in my presentation. Like how can we implement Ibn Khaldun today? So this Al-Khalduniyya Al-Tatbiqiyya, applied Khaldunism. And this is needed for intellectual independence of Muslims. Otherwise, we rely on political theories, economic theories, UN sustainable goals, etc. Don't we have a mind to think? We are children of such a rich civilization. We have so many great thinkers. Rather than benefiting from these rich resources, why should we beg to other people to come and tell us what should be our goal, how should our politics be, how should our economics, how should our morality be. So we have these rich resources, we need to unearth, excavate, and revive it today. And circular politics, the Iraqi siyasa is a good example for this. Is much better than the pyramid-like administrative system. And when Western people learn about this, they say, wow, this is more progressive than whatever we have. So in conclusion, I'd like to state that Ibn Khaldun's perspective invites us to rethink the hierarchical pyramid models of governance and instead in a more egalitarian and a pluralistic circular approach. Civilizational sustainability of Islamic civilization must focus on moral, cultural, intellectual development, besides technological, military, and economic development. They are not against each other, they complement each other. But don't focus only on technology and economy. Have a holistic perspective. 3 important methods of civilizational sustainability. First, applied Khaldunism. Contemporary applications of Ibn Khaldun principles, but Ibn Khaldun is a symbol. There are many other scholars. We have Ghazali, we have Fakhruddin Razi, we have Imam Shafi, Abu Hanifa, many scholars. We have to, learn from them and practice today. Not just knowledge for the sake of knowledge. And intellectual independence. This emancipation from the hegemonic materialism, decolonization of the curriculum from Eurocentrism, and freedom from nafs, egoism, and hedonism. And rooted revival refers to an approach that's anchored in the traditional Islamic principles and deploys them to address contemporary social, political, psychological, and existential challenges confronting Muslims and humanity. We are not only for Muslim Ummah. We are for the humanity. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس for the whole world. And our goal is not just to save our own ship, but to save the ocean. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much.
جزاكم الله خير كثيرا. رسالة درجة